All right, let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie because I've talked about this whole thing a lot. The lead up to this thing was something that I thought was a big deal. Nintendo once again branching out into bigger media and, a big team involved with Illumination, the animation heavyweights behind stuff like Despicable Me. And even though I find the Minions annoying, it seemed like a big, exciting move. And it could have been the next big thing, and it seems like it is the next big thing, judging from like the box office results. It seems like people are losing their mind for this freaking movie, and count me in. I'm part of that. I saw it this weekend. I'm a little late on this video, but I had a great time. I really didn't know what to think because, like I said, I'm not super into Illumination. It just seemed kind of like not my thing. And I also worried about a lot of the soul being sucked out of a Mario movie, but I was so happy. I was smiling the entire time. Like, it sounds like I'm lying. I was literally like, ah, like I was like in Adam Scott when he does that like laugh cry in Step Brothers. That image was me almost the entire time with this movie. So if you're looking for just another like adult boring guy on YouTube to gush about the Mario movie for kids, like, yeah, absolutely, I am one of them. It's not really just for kids, though. I want to point that out, like, especially with what they did and how the jokes work. Like, it is, and it sounds cliche, a movie for everybody. But it's hard not to talk about without getting into spoilers. I have a lot of things to say about. I have a lot of things to say about the ending and why I think I might be going crazy, specifically with one thing that happened. But okay. I'll get to that in a bit. But it's hard not to talk about the movie without spoilers. So go see it. Find the joy, be surprised for yourself, because I want to hash into everything here. Now, I very much can understand why some people might not like it. It's hard because you're going from characters that were very, very simple, stories that were very, very simple, and now there's a little bit more added on them. They all have voices, they have more personality. They don't necessarily have too much more depth, but there's just like more to it, where the Mario games was always like beauty in simplicity. I never really thought the stories were that complex or that compelling. And it's really funny to see movie reviewers come out and say that like, oh, the story was paper thin. It's like, no shit. Like, what do you expect from a game like this? But here, I like the story. It was super simple, but it had heart. And I felt something from it. So that to me counts as a win. It succeeded in what it was trying to do. Now, what it really succeeded with for me is the brotherly love of Mario and Luigi, two characters who were like separated for like a good portion of the movie, but you still understand what they were trying to do. And what I will say is that I was always rooting for Charlie Day, but Chris Pratt wasn't sure about his voice. I didn't mind it. I'd even go as far as to say like halfway through the movie, it just kind of melted away and I was into it. Like, I like his little twinge of wise guy. I like that he kind of sounds like my people, but it was pretty straightforward. Obviously it's not Charles Martinet. I'm so glad he did have a role in this movie. It made me very happy. But considering like the situation, what it was, it's like, okay, Chris Pratt, we're accepting it. Okay, here it is at face value. Thought it was pretty good. Is it Jack Black? No. Jack Black stole the movie for me. I thought it was absolutely incredible, but I'm also blown away by the fact that Nintendo, who is very protective of their properties, very uptight, were down to let Jack Black just do full Jack Black, like go all Jack Black. You know what I'm talking about. The Peaches song is really, really good. I think it's the first thing in a minute I've seen go viral that I am on board with. I'm like, yes, that deserves to go viral. That shit is awesome. It's so good. Like, he is singing his heart out, and his Bowser overall, I really, really liked. Everybody was good. Don't have too much to say about them. I wish Cranky Kong's voice, I know Fred Armisen's great, but like, I wish Cranky Kong's voice was a little bit more to him. I also wish we got to see more of Donkey Kong and have him say a little bit more. I'm sure they're saving that for another movie at some point, but the overall cast I thought was pretty good. But going back to Mario and Luigi, I thought it was really, really ballsy, but also really incredible to actually go back to like the whole they are plumbers thing. Give them actual plumberness, put them on plumber jobs, have them in Brooklyn. Like, they went for it, and I thought they nailed it. From when No Sleep Till Brooklyn kicked on, and then they start jumping and platforming through the streets of Brooklyn, I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. Like, is the whole movie gonna be like this? Because this is making me really happy. Again, granted, that's not something that we see in the modern Mario games, so I think that might clash with some people's sensibilities of the character. But for me, it felt right. I really liked it. The commercial that they did, the fact that they did the old-timey Italian voices, the fact that it's a reference to the rap, the fact that they had the actual New York skyline behind them and they're wearing yellow capes in the ad was just, it was so good. Like, it just felt so thought out and like thoughtful. I don't know. It just worked. But can we talk about Mario for a second and the whole situation here, what they did with the character? I think Mario is now a character for our generation, okay? Listen, he seems like he's broke. He's a small business owner trying to make it. He lives at home. He lives with his overbearing Italian parents. And despite Mario trying to be an entrepreneur, his dad doesn't believe in him. Like, this is like the most relatable we've seen Mario in a minute. Like, there's a lot lumped onto him. The fact that he has a mom and dad, the fact that like he has aunts and cousins and uncle, like, and he lives in Brooklyn. Like, it's a lot to lump onto a simple character, but it was done just right. It worked for me. Like, it didn't destroy anything. I was like, okay, I can accept this version of Mario. Cool. Also, the Mario here, I think what they got the best about him is his determination. He's always just heading in, doing the thing, even when he's unsure. He doesn't know what he's doing, but he's going. Right from the beginning, when him and Luigi go and try and fix the plumbing in Brooklyn where the street is flooding, and Mario's just like, all right, we gotta go, and he's trudging through the water. I'm like, there he is. There he is. There's that little Mario, the little determined guy just doing his thing, you know? I love that. I love that Spike is like, I think it's like taken from like the original, like one of the original guys, like from the old construction game. But I like that Spike is like an actual like New York jabroni guy with the sunglasses. I was like, I can't believe this guy is in the movie. This is wild that they created this and they put this in a Nintendo movie. But a lot of the sequences were great. The big standout one, of course, is the Mario Kart scene, which in a way kind of felt like a big advertisement for Mario Kart, but it's also the biggest thing ever. It's like one of Nintendo's biggest selling things ever. So many kids in this current day and age have grown up knowing Mario and the characters through Mario Kart and are addicted to that game. So it made sense to go all in on that. And like the fact that they showed them picking their car and their wheels and then showing it get built in front of them like the game was cool. It was cool that they kind of like represented it in the movie. I don't know. Donkey Kong stuff was pretty good. Obviously, I wanted there to be more of that. For Diddy Kong to just be tossed away as a little tiny cameo was a bummer, but I'm sure he'll get his day in court. His day in court? No, you know what I mean. Diddy Kong goes to court. The movie was like Easter egg central, reference central, but I don't know. In this context, it made sense, right? Like a lot of times you see stuff and it's like trying to pander to you and remember this, remember this, remember this. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like rose color or just video game, like how I just love video games so much. Like I didn't care that it was like reference after reference. It all kind of felt like there should be things that should be referenced at this point, at this time, like this should be happening. Case in point, the music. The music had a lot of little jingles and things you would remember, but overall was like more big cinematic renditions of classic songs and on also just big cinematic things themselves. There is some current music. I liked No Sleep Till Brooklyn, Beastie Boys, Bonnie Tyler, Holding Out for a Hero. Unironically, like is one of my favorite songs ever. It is abused in movies constantly, and I don't think we needed it here. It was fine, but you know, it's like I feel like I've heard it used in like 2 movies this year already, so it's like wow. But I just almost like, and this is like a weird criticism, but I almost wish there was more of the classic music, just because there is a treasure trove of good, compelling stuff. Where I like when it went big and cinematic, but I almost wish that sometimes it stuck to the more simple classic references, you know? Still, the way it worked was really good, and the whole adventure in Mushroom Kingdom and Mario kind of figuring it out really worked. He's getting introduced to all these characters. The dynamic between him and Peach were pretty good. It was like really straightforward, but pretty good. I like Peach. Peach had some moments. She was pretty hot. Can I say that? Can I say that Peach is hot? Cartoon character? I mean, everybody does. Whatever. And I really liked how it ended and how it went back to New York and everybody got thrown in to New York, which is absolutely wild because it reminds me of the classic Mario Brothers movie that I really like. I'm saying it. I've said it in another video. I like that weird, fucked up, crazy movie. It's like this weird, grungy 90s dirty movie with like sci-fi cyberpunk aesthetics and weirdness and Dennis Hopper and John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. Like, how can you not want to root for that. That movie's a hot garbage mess. Also, I just did a movie commentary track with my friends, with Eric over at Pretty Much It. So here's a clip of that.
Oh no! No! What the?
Monkey!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
First time Mario said the word "come" was in that trailer.
You're keeping track?
Yeah.
He has coomed.
Oh, he has it.
Where did Baby Mario come from?
It's like immaculate. It's like an immaculate.
I make way dirtier jokes over there if you can't tell, but that will be linked in the description if you do want to check that out. But jumping back, yes, it was kind of like the 90s Mario movie where were blasted into Brooklyn. Bowser's in Brooklyn. Mario's got to fight him. And it was really cool for them to do that. It looked incredible from the details and the visuals to when Mario and Luigi kind of just went Super Saiyan and it kind of turned into like an anime battle, which was wild. But just the brothers sticking together and Luigi Captain Americaing him at the last minute with the manhole cover. That got me. That got me, man. Between that and the cut back to them as baby Mario and baby Luigi, which is interesting in the canon if you think about it. All that stuff just made me smile. That's it. That's all I can keep saying. That's it, dude. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about is the ending. The end credits tease thing, after whatever you want to call it, the post-movie thing. It fades up. There's a ruins, and then there is a Yoshi egg, and the Yoshi egg cracks a little bit. Yoshi is teased for seemingly whatever is next. All right, I'm gonna say this. Don't think I'm like crazy or anything, but this is just like the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie. No. Where you don't leave. I am serious. The Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie, for all its faults and how it's not really like a Godzilla movie, it's still a cool 90s action monster thing, product of its time, sure. But that movie has a climactic battle in Madison Square Garden against Godzilla and all Godzilla's little baby eggs that hatched and launched into little dinosaurs. And the movie wraps up, the day is saved, yay, whatever. And then it fades to black and fades to the ruins of Madison Square Garden. And you see one lone dinosaur egg and it cracks open. I don't know if they directly took from that because it's like a pretty tropey, pretty standard thing. But in my head, the creators of this movie were like, let's reference the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie. Let's do it. Regardless, whatever. It's cool that they teased Yoshi, even though like they showed Yoshi's kind of running in the background at some point. Very cool. I'm very excited for what they could do next because there's so much more that they could touch on that they didn't here. But this does feel like, especially with how good I thought it was, but how much money it's making, prepare for the onslaught of Mario, Nintendo themed movies. I'm happy for Nintendo. Am I happy for the corporation? Am I happy for them to like have a win? No. Am I happy for like Mario things to have a win? Yeah. But this is the one that's special. This is the one that they really nailed it. They figured it out. If it was just this thing, this perfect little fun, great thing that people got joy out of, great. But I expect it to continue and a million more movies come. A sequel, a Donkey Kong spinoff, maybe they do a Luigi's Mansion movie or a Halloween special, who knows? But that stuff could all be great, but I want to like just stop and pause and just think about this one thing they made. They actually pulled it off, in my opinion, and I'm happy they did. Who knows what the future brings? Are we gonna get sick of Mario like we're sick of the Minions and Gru and all those schmucks? I don't know, but I really, really had a good time at the movies watching this. I immediately wanted to go see it again. I love animation, I love cartoons, and I love Nintendo Mario stuff, so here it was great. That's all I gotta say. I know I've been gushing the entire time, but that's what I do on this channel. I just talk about stuff I love mostly, so, you know, that's it, man. I want to hear from you guys in the comments what you think if you saw it. Obviously, I'm like over the moon for it. I can totally get why some people didn't vibe with it. I thought I was almost going to be that person, but it still hit with me. But let me know how you feel either way. What character you thought got the shaft? Who do you want to see more of? Who do you think should play Wario in the next one? Because I think they should do that as the villain. But let's talk about this stuff down in the comments. If you like what I'm trying to do here, if you get it, I'm just hanging out with you guys, sitting back, yapping about stuff I love. Clicking the like button helps me. Thank you. But I'm going to try and go get to the movies to see it again. Either way, thank you for sitting around here. I'm Jake Baldino. Subscribe because video games, pizza's on me.